to other energy is here. So what we want to try to do is develop those intuitive pathways. So as they are all attached in this very primitive part of the brain, I believe that what's really important is to start working on that gut hunch and just work on that immediate sending and receiving. So whenever you can, begin to note down your intuitive information. Slow down and pay attention to it. As I say, I've got a lot of suggestions in our notes that you can take home. But it's slowing down to see. And as I say, slowing down to see with all of your senses. That's really important. One of the ways that you can turn off the conceptual brain is, and work on developing that, is engaging in frequent seeking. Now, I've put up, I don't know if anybody knows this, or anyone likes old movies, but we are great fans of whodunits, Brian and I. We are whodunit mad. And this is our method of seeking. And we particularly love the Thin Man series. I don't know if you know these movies, but if I were to come back in another life, I would like to have us come back as Nick and Nora Charles. I don't know if you know them. They're two detectives that were created by Dashiell Hammett, and they live in a hotel with their dog Asta and their child, and they're always drunk. But nevertheless, and they're sort of like, and we're great 30s aficionados, and they've always got a martini in hand, and she's wearing her gown, and they're there in this very snazzy 30s hotel. And no matter what, they always solve these incredibly complicated crimes. So we love these. They're great. And some of the other ways that you can develop that seeking mechanism and develop consequently, that mind-body attachment in your brain is by doing a lot of what humans would be doing, analogous to what Ali does in terms of hunting, which is things like brain puzzles, Sudoku, whodunits, all those kinds of problem-solving activities. Even having a snoop around, going to flea markets or car boot sales is another form of seeking. And though it sounds frivolous, that is actually activating that intuitive part of your brain. And it's keeping you curiosity hungry. It's keeping you from becoming habituated. So I also have in your notes suggestions for how to have a snoop around in a number of ways, how to provoke and develop your curiosity. So have a look at that too. Now, I've put this picture up here of the tsunami because this is really important. It was very interesting. You know, as we know, thousands of people perished. But two groups of living things did not. One were wild animals, and the other were native cultures. The Moku were one culture where they were all watching this all go on from dry land. Not because they lived there, but because they had a foreboding that it was going to happen, and they went to dry land. Now, one of the things that I'm interested in with native cultures that are very similar across the board in all kinds of native cultures is that many of them don't have verbal overshadowing. Some of them don't even promote memory. So this is really amazing because we think language is so intrinsic to being human, but some of those cultures don't have it. And so I like this picture because this guy is looking at a cloud and he's not thinking about it. He's just looking. Because, you know, oftentimes what we do is we name something. When you name something, you are creating a verbal overshadowing.
It goes further than that. When you name something or judge it or label it, you're limiting your ability to see it for what it is. Because anything that you're naming it obviously has a limitation. So this is how we go blind to seeing other people and to not having the telepathic experience that Lynne is describing, to not be intimately understanding of other people. Instead, to be detached from them, to not understand them, to not understand what's going on with them, to even be dehumanizing of them. At this point, they don't even become people anymore. They just become part of someone's ideology, dehumanized. And from there, you can just hate them and ultimately kill them.
But you see in the case of that cartoon, he's looking at a cloud and he's seeing image. He's just picking up the image. So one thing you can do is try to develop the ability to think with another kind of sense. One of the ways of doing it is working on thinking in pictures. Seeing something and then remembering it as a picture, not as a word. Or, if you happen to be somebody who is auditory, thinking about something in terms of sound, or thinking about something in terms of, in fact, I mean, certain sounds are supposed to develop brains. You know, Bach is always supposed to be a great brain developer. Thinking about certain things in terms of smell, a very potent method of recollecting. But work on different senses, and also be present in observing something and not thinking about it in words. So if I look at curtain, you know, I am so verbal. I am thinking about that, and I'm seeing, you know, curtain. I'm saying it in a sense. Try not to do that. Try to look at that and actually see folds of blue material. Just experience the folds.